Hey everyone, Slayer here to introduce Nasty and Friends from BDC Studios, a podcast where two friends who met in the Army Reserves get together and talk about shit. One's a firefighter and the other has a funny laugh. So sit back, get rid of your kids, and hold on to your because it's about to get nasty, friends.
Welcome to Nasty and Friends with Pagnasty and Spicy Motherfucking Brown.
Oh shit, guess who's back? What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, homie?
This is Pagnasty, and of course on the other end, Spicy Brown. This is Prison Call 6. I know it's been a while since we've been in the studios, but you guys know how crazy summer gets. So we got a lot that we want to get into. So just jump into it, man. I know last time before we were getting ready to take off, you were getting ready to head out for the Army. So how was that for you?
Yeah, you know, the Army's still the fucking Army, dude. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it's, like you said, summer is fucking busy, man. So it's tough to get together and hang out. But yeah, summer. I love summer. It's a blast. But summer is busy, dude. I definitely want to. I got some stories about AT I want to share with you. And,
I can't wait.
And
can't wait.
And then this is. I still consider this 4th of July weekend, even though it's the 5th of July.
Right.
But it's a big event, and I know you go hard on the 4th of July,
yeah,
so we're definitely gonna have to get in that for sure, you know.
Definitely.
So, you said you want to hear about AT?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because I saw that. I know we were texting, and because you drove by my city on the way through and stuff like that,
sure.
And yeah, hit me up, and I told him to drop you off and then just pick you up on the way back, but that didn't work. So
no, it didn't work, man. Have you ever been to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri?
I have. That's where I went to basic training. So,
okay.
Yeah, I spent a lovely 13 weeks in that hellhole.
Yeah, it's a real shithole, I'll tell you that. So I've never been to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. It's a base that's been around forever. I know lots of people whose dad and grandpa went to Fort Leonard Wood. So at Fort Leonard Wood, they do a basic training there. They do military police school. They do CBRN, which is what I do now, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. They do, I think, 88 Mike, which is truck driver school. Yeah, so it's a pretty big base, and it's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the woods in Missouri.
Yeah, they call it Fort Lost in the Woods because it's legitimately that way. Like, it's insane.
Correct. So, yeah, I'm really hyped up to go to AT. I don't think anybody is, especially during, like in June or whatever, College World Series is in town. Everything's going down. It's June, it's summertime. You got to pack up and get ready to go to, Missouri. So the way I saw it for me, it was kind of a test because I've been out of the Army for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe a little over a year. I just had 2 drills with this unit. Hadn't been on AT in a while. Now I'm going to Fort Leonard Wood. So a test for me. I didn't want to go. I wanted to do, and I think I did well. So we drove down there.
There's no doubt.
Oh, thanks, brother. But no, we drove down there in tactical vehicles. Me and my partner were in one that did not have AC, and of course it's a tactical vehicle, so there's no radio, no comfort. So for like 10 hours, it was just hot air blowing, in our faces. We're going down there.
Oh, so
get the arms
the worst, man.
So yeah, no. So I'll just talk a little bit about AT, like the good, the bad. So it's typical Army. So for 2 weeks we stayed in these huts. The good news is they had AC. The bad news is which is very nice.
Yeah, that's you don't hear that often in the Army. So
nope. And they had hardwood floors and they had cots, like these bunk bed cots, almost like you see in like medic ambulances and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which were good and bad. So if AC was good, hardwood floors, being in a hut was good. But 18 of us in there, it was packed. Like we were on top of each other. We didn't have room for any of that.
Yeah. Was it just your unit or were you with another unit?
We were with my unit, which has about 60-something people. Well, I don't know if I guess I didn't give the unit name or anything, but I still shouldn't be dropping fucking operational security details on there.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, we had our unit and allegedly. We had our unit and then our battalion, and then there was a couple other units around. So we stayed at like a FOB area, like a forward operating base kind of deal.
Yeah.
We were in like the camp with cabins or huts, if you will. And then it was just like the porta potty life. So down there it's hot, it's in the woods. So you're eating MREs, so you don't shit a lot. So I would shit maybe once a day in the morning.
Right.
which was good because then the porta potties aren't 120 degrees in there and you're sweating.
Oh, that's the worst, dude, when you have to go and it's like, it's 1,000 degrees out and it's 4 p.m. and most everybody's already hit it. Oh, I remember those days down in Texas there.
Yeah, dude. It's I don't think they clean the porta shitters the whole time we were there. It's like nasty and stinky. If it's 90 degrees outside inside of a porta potty with no ventilation, it's probably 120 degrees in there. You know?
Oh, easily.
And it stinks. So, but for people who aren't familiar with eating MREs, their meal's ready to eat. They come in pouches with a heater that activates with water, and then those things last for 10 years or whatever. They're like 2,000 calories, so you don't want to eat a shit ton of them.
Right.
But they like clog you up, dude. The cheese and the peanut butter in there, they clog you up, so you don't end up shitting a lot. So
yeah, that's the point of them.
So I went, But I went about 5 days without shitting, and then I was kind of shitting maybe once a day.
Right.
And then, but if we went to somewhere like for traveling or something that had inside, all just bum rush like to get to a real bathroom kind of.
Oh
thing,
yeah,
you know
everybody does. I bet.
So we had that. We had shower tents. So we had we had access to showers, but they were cold showers.
Right.
So, and then you had this little like cot, but it's a bunk bed. So then your buddy moves, you wake up. There's 18 of us in there. So anytime somebody moves or whatever, you wake up. So for me, right away, it was kind of a test. You know, I've been doing this for a long, long time.
Right.
I'm getting older, and I'm pretty spoiled in my life. Like, I got a nice house. You know, I mean, I got a great home. I love being at home. You get used to the comforts.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
For sure. So what I think was good for me was you go to something like this, and then you immediately appreciate what you have. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember, going on ATs, coming back and staying in a tent, whatever. You get back, you're like, yes, it's the best.
Yeah, me and you've been there together, and in 3 weeks in Wisconsin, 3 weeks in Cali, you know, tent life both times and other places. So for people who are familiar with this, like you take shit for granted, like your bed, like you think most people stay in their bed every night, you know. Like me, I stay at work a third of the time, which is still comfortable. But when you're in a shitty hut on a cot with the bunkmate, and everybody stinks and everybody's tired, you miss your bed, you know. And then when you don't have your shitter or you don't have your bathroom where it's quiet, you're in there by yourself. You can get naked, you can not get naked, you can do whatever you want. But now you're in the porta potty, you're sweating profusely, it stinks, it's horrible, and that's all you have for 2 weeks.
Right.
Then you just miss simple. Well, I just want like a toilet, and it doesn't even have to be your toilet, you know.
Yeah, you just literally put a toilet in the middle of a room. I will shit in it.
For sure. Like when you're in the middle of the woods, and we could have been shitting outside, which I'm fine with, and we've talked about on the podcast. I think Ashley was like against shitting outside, wasn't she?
Yeah, probably. She's pretty much against all of that. So.
No, I remember that. She's like, I wasn't doing it, and we were like, no, it's actually really comfortable, you know. But yeah. So when you're in like a latrine and a side, you shit in a Home Depot and any kind of store bathroom, any gas station bathroom because it's AC. Sexual porcelain, but anyway, you start missing that stuff. So we would get like Mermite food brought out for breakfast. We would eat an MRE for lunch, and then we would go to the chow hall almost every night for dinner chow, and it's still Army chow. So then you miss your food, especially how much we talk about food.
Right. This is a cooking show.
It's absolutely a cooking show. So like you get used to all that, and then so I did that for 2 weeks, and it definitely made me appreciate, just the life I have back home. And then it makes you think of the people who are out there right now sacrificing, who are in, foreign places that might be eating MREs 3 times a day, that might be living in a tent for a year in the desert somewhere.
Yep.
Well, it's just perspective and testing yourself. So my unit is it's a different unit than I'm used to. There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of young people in there, like 19, 20-year-olds.
Oh, man.
So for me, it was good. I had 2 drills going into this, so I didn't know a shit ton of people. So being in that position for 2 weeks, no TV or anything, like we would hang out and talk. That's all you could do.
Like some peasants.
Like some peasants, I got to know everybody, and that was pretty cool. But no, it was good, dude. We started, for us, we got to do a lot of old school Army stuff. So we did like the confidence course.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. We did day and night line navigation.
Oh, man, it sounds like you're going through basic training again.
Absolutely, which was awesome.
Right.
For people who aren't familiar with land navigation, you get a map, you get a compass, you get a protractor, and then you plot points, and then you try to figure that you can find on the map or whatever, or grid coordinates, and then you find your points either that day and night. And and still, at my age, when you're in the woods at night, you start hearing shit. I always think about the Blair Witch. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like the Missouri, like out there, like it's deep woods. You know what I mean? So there's all sorts of animals. I think they said there's 3 types of poisonous snakes and all this other shit.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But still, like when you're in the woods and it's dark, you're not supposed to use a white lens flashlight. You get to use a red lens or whatever.
Yeah, so you can't see that far out. You're probably thinking you're hearing banjos since you're in Missouri.
Absolutely. You listen for banjos, and then you hear something, and then you're like that was a fucking Blair Witch. I know it. Your mind goes there. Like I watch horror movies all the time. Right. Your mind goes to the Blair Witch. But like some of that old school stuff that came back to me, and I did pretty well. So we got to do that. We did the rifle range. We did the assault with the machine gun range. So I got to shoot the M249 saw, which has been a while since I fired that.
Yeah.
And I shot the shit out of that,
Oh, I bet.
So for people who don't know what that is, it's a machine gun that's fully automatic. It's not, it's the same caliber round as a M16 or M4 shoots, which is .223, or civilian, that would be .223, or 5.56, civilian, that would be .223.
Right.
So it's not like the .240 that took over for the M60, but it shoots, 600 to 800 rounds a minute?
Yeah.
If you're firing
if I remember right, that's what it is.
It's my favorite weapon to shoot, because it doesn't beat the shit out of you like a .240 or an M60 will.
Right. You just unload and you can do it for quite a while. So
absolutely, and that's magazine fed, so you could put a 30-round magazine in there, or you could. The drums we were getting were 200-round belts. So you slap a 200-round belt in there, and you just start and just fucking lighting shit up. So yeah, dude, that was cool. We got to do the gas chamber, which I was excited about because it's been a while since I've done the gas chamber.
Yeah, I've done it. I just did it in basic training, so I've done it. And that's something that I feel like you never forget either.
No.
Like, I think I might have told this on a podcast before, but I just remember, and I don't know why it struck me so funny, because I think it was the seriousness, because, like, when we did the gas chamber, we were, like, I think we did it, like, within the first week of basic training, like, the first week or second week. Like, it was super early, so you're still trying to, get shit figured out, or like how to react to stuff, stuff like that. And so I just remember when we all were coming out, the guy in front of me, he was in my platoon and everything. I just remember him going, "I'm never gonna compete in a riot again." Because it's the tear gas, and it's, you never felt it like it. And like, luckily for me, my gas mask worked. Like, we had people who they leaked right away, so they were eating it the whole time. And geez. Like, luckily for me, I didn't have a problem with it. So.
No, dude, that's cool. And I think, I'm sure you told me before, and I just forgot. Like, had I known that you went to Fort Leonard Wood for basic, I would have been thinking about you. I think about you all the time, man. You're my brother, but I would have thought about you more because all the same places I went to were the same places you were at. Like, there's only one gas chamber at Fort Leonard Wood, so you were there, and I would have thought about you choking and spitting,
right?
Which always turns me on. But
no,
you know what I mean.
Of course. Whoa.
But so the gas chamber, for people who don't know, the military uses what's called CS gas, which is a tear gas, and it's specifically made to cause pain, like discomfort, to make people incapacitated, so they would stop whatever they're doing, whether it's a riot or whatever. It's made. Its only purpose is to hurt you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how big you are or how tough you think you are, like, you're eventually going to go down from it. Like, nobody can withstand. I've never seen anybody do it. I'm sure there's maybe some weirdo out there that can, but yeah, man, you can just get snot rolling, you can't breathe, you're coughing, you can't see. It's insane. Yeah,
you're choking. Yeah, no matter who you are, you're going to turn into a bitch. You're going to turn into a bitch, and you're going to turn into a bitch immediately. So for that, like, and you hear stories like, oh, if you get like exposed to it often. Like I'm sure the people that work at the cadre that works at the range, I'm sure they get exposed to it often. Maybe they get more used to it or get more immune to it, but I don't know if that's true.
I mean, maybe it's probably like Sean Evans who does hot ones, you know. Like, I mean,
sure.
he's still in the suck and it still bothers him, but it's not like us when we, did it for the first time. So, I'd say that makes sense, but still, either way, it's still awful.
So part of the reason you go to the gas chamber is to get confidence in your gas mask, and then to get exposed to CS, so if you get exposed to it in the future, you're going to be okay eventually and all that shit,
Yep.
So I've done it a few times when I was actually basic training, of course, which was always a nightmare. Everything you do in basic training is worse because you have somebody screaming at you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's never fun, whether it's the obstacle course, confidence course, gas. You got people screaming at you the whole time, so it's never fun. So when I went active duty and started doing stuff, I had a lot more fun. So for the gas chamber, I haven't done it in probably 10 years, so I was looking forward to it. I was pretty excited about it. Some of the people in my unit, even the young people, are like, oh, this is going to suck. I don't want to do this. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, you're going to be all right.
Right. Like, you've gone through it before. Like, how it's going to turn out. It's just,
and everybody in my unit has gone through it in basic training.
Yeah.
I think some of them had been through it sooner than I have, so their memory was fresher, but
right. I haven't. It's been over 10 years since I've done, but I would do it for sure. If I went with a bunch of people, I would do it again. It'd be different. I wouldn't be getting yelled at. I'd be able to enjoy everybody else and the stuff with me. So
absolutely. And the thing is, I almost compare it to the hot sauce. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because you know it's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt, but you've been through it before. After 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're gonna be back to normal. And you're gonna be like, man, that sucked, but I'm glad I did it. I had fun. Something like the gas chamber or a machine gun range or something like that. I think if you're not in the military, you would have to pay big money to have to do something like that.
Yeah, and you got paid to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the gas chamber, you put it's a mop suit now. It's called JS List suit. You put that on. I kept my hood down because it was hot and I wanted to feel the full effect of the gas.
Right.
But so you have your gas mask on, your chemical suit on. You go in, and it's just a big chamber. There's a couple windows so people can see in. There's a couple safeties in there. They have you do some jumping jacks to make sure your suit's good, your mask is sealed. You do a couple exercises, some facing movements, and then they have you break the seal, which is you pull the mask away from your face and pull it up above your nose. And then once everybody's good, you put it back on your face, and then you cover up the filter. You blow out hard to get rid of the smoke, to clear the mask, and then you make sure your mask is sealed, and then you keep breathing through your mask. Mm-hmm. Which some people panic on that, which whatever, dude.
You just have to go. And if you don't get a mask that works greatest, like I said, some people in training. Thousands of people have probably used that same mask. You know what I mean? So
I haven't even been clean.
Aren't going to work as well in a real life situation. You PMCS everything. Your mask is going to work.
Yep. Oh yes. So anyway, after that, we faced the door. There's probably maybe like 15 of us in this room. Then we faced the door, and then they had everybody remove the mask, or remove your own mask. Use your right hand and grab the shoulder of the person in front of you. Yell a few things, and then you just walk out into this gravel pit. I guess before I was talking to somebody else a couple of days ago, or at work that went to Fort Leonard Wood. Before, I guess it was just wood, so people were running into trees and shit. Now it's like a blocked off sand pit, so you go out in the sand pit, you can't see. So first what happens when you go into the gas chamber, it's smoky, and the gas not only irritates lungs or eyes, it burns your skin. So it feels like you're burning, like it's hot, like you can feel it. And I didn't have my hood on, so I felt it on my ear and the back of my neck.
What time of day did you do it?
It was afternoon, so it was hot as fuck outside.
Okay.
So and it works with, it bonds with your sweat. So
Did you shave that morning?
You know what? I put myself on I don't know. If I put myself on a modified shave deal, because I don't like to shave every day because I don't at home, so I did like every 36 hours.
Okay, yeah, and
I don't
you can
remember
get
if I
away
shaved
with
that
it
morning.
too. For me, I have to be careful with that. But I know I had talked to somebody before in basic training, and they said if you can get away with it, don't shave that morning, because we were going first thing in the morning. We eat and then we go out there, and then your pores are all open by the time you march there. And if you shave, so I just shaved right before I went to bed. And
smart.
so I got away with it where I didn't have to shave, but there were some guys who shave that more because they have to. They're just that grow hair and they can't get away with it. And I just remember them saying, "It's in my pores."
It sucks, and I'm sure people that are listening, they're probably like, yeah, it can't be that bad. Thing, if you listen to us talk about hot sauce, like, yeah, it might not, it's probably not that bad. No, it fucking sucks. Like, it hurts. But yeah, so I would shave like one morning, and then I would wait till the next day, that night to shave, and then so it would be like every 36 hours or so, just because I don't, like, when I work, 24 on, 24 off, I shave every other day and don't shave on my days off, so I don't want to shave every fucking day for 2 weeks.
Right.
I don't know.
I would just mess up your skin anyway.
Yeah, I think so, dude. Plus, I look a little bit better with a little bit of, a little stubble on there. Shit, So anyway, so you get in the gas chamber. So then finally you take your mask off, and there's no question about it. Like, as soon as you start to breathe a little bit, your body reacts to it. I mean, that's what it's made for. Like, it's specifically made to cause pain. So as soon as you start breathing a little bit, you start choking, coughing. It gets in your eyes. It starts burning. You can't see. People have snot, like, dropping all the way down to the floor. Like, it starts, I mean, it fucks your body up, So you go outside, you get in the fresh air. Like, don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes. And they're like, wave your arms, to get the stuff off of your gear. And so that happened, and then you take your gear off, and then, 20 minutes later, you feel pretty good. And you still taste it, whatever, and still coughing a little bit. But, yeah, it's a suck fest. But I love it. If I could do it once a month, I swear to God, I would do it.
Yeah, it's like if you can go in with a bunch of people, it would be fun. I remember, like I said, when I did it, it was obviously in basic training, and I think one of the funny things that I had is the guy in front of me, when we turned, you got to, like, grab each other's shoulders, like you said, to walk out. Like, on our way out, he just, like, pukes, he did puke on the back of the person in front of him, but he puked all over their boots.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad. Some people do. You just get to coughing so much, and it's definitely a side effect. So, I mean, I don't know if I would do it once a month, but, I mean, if it was with you, I probably would. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, if it was free, even if you weren't getting paid to do it, even if it was free, I'd be like, fuck, I'll do it. It'll take an hour. We'll get it in, maybe, and then you could test yourself, like, next month if you're going to react better or not, whatever. You're still going to be a bitch. You're still going to turn into a... Yeah.
We should podcast during it.
You won't be able to understand anything, just choking.
Hey, it'd be like the end of most of our podcasts.
That's true. But no, so I was looking forward to it, leading into it before I even went to Missouri, and then I was looking forward to it that day. I did it. Happy about it. So I did one of the things I've never done before is when we went into a live nerve agent chamber, since I'm in a CBURN unit.
Oh yeah.
So I'll tell you about that real quick. I don't know how exciting it is, but there's this facility that allegedly makes chemicals and biological weapons and shit like that. So when it's your turn to go, I think 12 of us went. We watched a bunch of PowerPoints and took classes that morning. We went through a medical screening where they drew blood and did a bunch of nurses and paramedics did a bunch of tests on you. And then you got issued everything, like the old school Army underwear, socks.
Oh, wow.
Fatigue pants, T-shirts, and then Chuck Taylors for some reason. and then
he must have a heck of a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get issued all that. So all your clothes has to go in the locker. And then you get fit tested for your mask. You got to do the fit test. And then, which is just a series of movements, and they monitor, make sure you got a good seal. And then you get issued your chemical gear. You put all that on, and then you go through a bunch of scenarios. And on the meters, they have live nerve agent in there. So on the meters, we tested, we found VX gas. We found like a BH, like a blister, or GH, like a blister agent. I think sarin and some other shit. They had like real bad shit in there.
Oh,
so we got to do that, which was pretty fun. And then we had the decon, which the decon sucked because it's a thorough decon.
Oh, yeah. That takes like forever, doesn't it?
It takes forever. We had to do like an exchange where you change gear and then you go through decon. And then at the end of it, you're in a room naked with a bunch of dudes, and then you got to take like a shower.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's probably the best part. But,
of course.
So for that, like for me, being in that environment was nothing because I'm a fireman.
Right.
If you didn't know that. So they call that atmosphere
I would hope
like...
it's in our bio.
It's in our bio, yeah. But IDLH is like immediately dangerous to life and health. So like for me, like I wear a mask all the time. so I'm used to wearing a mask. And I'm in IDLH environments all the time where if my mask would leak or it came off, if I'm in building fire, house fire, within a few seconds, I'm probably going to go unconscious. On top of that, there's heat. On top of that, sometimes there's zero visibility. On top of that, like, you got to worry about the ceilings collapsing.
Yep.
So for me, it's a nerve agent. You could see fine. We're walking around.
It's a walk
like
in the park for you.
It's just fun. It's fun. So some of the other people are nervous. So I would try to fuck around and be like, dude, you got a hole in your suit kind of thing. And
right.
yeah, for me, it was easy. But some people.
That is awesome.
But some people, like, and even people listening, like, if you're not used to wearing a mask like that restricts your vision, that restricts your breathing. You're not used to that. Some people were getting pretty nervous.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, because it can get pretty, like you said, pretty restrictive and stuff, especially if you're not used to it.
We're in there for hours, and they say once you get your seal, right before you do not touch your mask. Don't even adjust your mask. Don't mess with your mask. So, people were pretty nervous about that. Where me, I was just like, this isn't anything for me. But I love seeing people nervous and scared because, honestly, if you were to take your mask off and you breathe in a nerve agent, you're going to get hit with a atropine 2-pan-chloride, whatever, the knock kit or whatever, and hopefully that'll save you, but you might die. So that was interesting because I've never done it before.
Right.
I didn't like that it took all day, and I didn't think it was that exciting because it wasn't as stressful as it should have been.
Yeah, you might actually die in real life, but yeah, it was kind of boring.
Yeah, it was kind of. It's a training environment, and they said nobody has ever this facility kind of thing, and it's like, well, that's whatever. I'll be fine. My mask isn't just going to magically fall off, but that's a thing to build confidence in your gear, in your mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
So most people in basic training don't go through that, but if you're in a chemical or CBurn unit, you go through that. So they had all been through that before. I had not, but I said, yeah, no, let's get this done because I'm ready to go back to the embarrass. So we did that, and I'll wrap it up. I've been talking Army shit for like 30 minutes now, but
oh, you're all right.
We did get to do an FTX, and I was a squad leader for a QRF team, which is Quick Reaction Force Team.
Yeah, how was that?
That was fun, man. We had to spend a couple of days doing, leading up to that, just going over tactics on how to move, on how to do hand signals, on the actions upon contact, like react to contact, react to indirect fire, react to IED, UXO reports, 9-line medevacs, just the basic fundamental combat shit that a lot of these kids were not familiar with because they didn't teach it a lot in basic training, which they don't. And we're in a National Guard unit, and that's not their job. So
right.
For me, being an infantryman for 4 years, even though it's been a long time ago, that's my bread and butter. I
bet you love getting back to that stuff.
Yes, I love doing that stuff. We got to use sim rounds, the simulation rounds.
Oh, nice. Which
I've never used before because we always used, in our firefighter unit, we always used paintball.
Right.
Which is awesome, but the only thing is it's not realistic to real Army life, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're using a different kind of weapon that reloads different, So for the sim rounds, you change the bolt so the bolt wouldn't fire a real 223 or 5.56 round or 223 round. It would only fire the sim rounds the way the rounds are set up, and we had blue magazines for the sim rounds, so you couldn't get that confused. So there was zero possibility of somebody shooting a live round. Yeah, that's
good that they set it up. I didn't know,
sure.
I knew there was something different, but I didn't know, you couldn't fire a normal round.
Right, yeah, you cannot. So we had to get a brand new bolt just for the sim rounds. But the sim rounds are kind of like paintball rounds. They fire a real round, and they hit you with this projectile that leaves a little bit of blue paint on you. They were blue. And the magazines were blue, so you wouldn't get confused. But yeah, we did room clearing. We cleared villages. We had civilians on the battlefield that were disruptive, and we had to maintain them. And I get super aggressive when I do that shit. So I would, I would try to get intel from some of them, like my first sergeant. I ended up grabbing my first sergeant, and he was pretending to be a villager, but I didn't trust him. So I tried to get intel from him, and then I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not, but I threatened to kill him if he did not cooperate with me.
But that sounds right to me.
But I try to be as real as I do when I'm training. So I'm yelling. The best thing, I didn't mention this, we had 15 soldiers from the Czech Republic with us for this 2-week annual training.
Yeah.
These dudes were solid as fuck, man.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
So we figured, they could tag around. We'll teach them a few things. No, not at all. These dudes were full-time active duty guys. They were commanders of legit chemical unit companies, whatever, that do sorts of different operations in Europe. And they were solid and squared away at everything they did. So they started integrating with us.
They probably looked at you guys like, what is this?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they did for sure. But we worked with them, and I had another squad leader, Lucas. So we teamed up. So I was a squad leader, but we turned into Alpha and Bravo team on QRF 1, Quick Reaction Force 1. So I tried to share as much as I could. There was a little bit of a language barrier, but this dude, out of the 15, everybody, the Czech guys were scared of Lucas. They said he was a badass, but he was a paratrooper. He spent time in Afghanistan, did 2 tours in Kosovo, and for Czech Republic, only the best guys went to Kosovo, and I guess they did some dirty shit. This guy was fast, aggressive, and we worked so well together in a team where we would clear villages and do shit. It was fucking awesome, dude. We had he like yells and he gets super into it, you know. So I had his back no matter what. I mean, there was this one scenario we cleared, and we got striker vehicles, which allegedly, I guess.
Yeah.
But we had this one scenario. We had to clear the village, call in the team to do hazmat to monitor because they said there was possible like bomb making stuff or whatever. The mission went sour. We had smoke grenades, which is awesome. I got to pop smoke.
Hell yeah.
One of the missions, we saw somebody pop green smoke. We got fired upon. They threw green smoke. Green smoke signaled a chemical. So we had to put our pro masks on.
Oh.
So now we're fighting. We're falling back with pro masks on. So we're getting accountability. We get everybody ready. Make sure nobody gets left behind. We load up, finally, drag off wounded. And then we got to drive to this decon site. Well, the decon site was taking fucking forever. They got to decon the vehicle. They got to decon all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like your hands, your gear, your mask, and all this stuff.
Taint, probably.
So and it's summertime, dude, in Missouri. So after, like almost 2 hours in our shit, we're like, hey, at what point, I thought we were done with this. At what point do we take our shit off? Our guys need to drink water. Our guys need to sit down. We've been running around. You know, some of these people are just doing bullshit while some of us are running around shooting guns.
Right.
So he starts getting heated, and he's talking to some of the sergeants from my unit, you know, and he's getting heated. So I go over. I'm like, what the fuck? No, seriously, what the fuck? Who do we need to talk to? He's just a fired up guy. He's a good leader. So me and him at each other's backs. But no, that was probably the best part about it, was hanging out with those guys. They fucking squared away, and it was all respect all around for that.
Yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. That's pretty sweet, because usually when you get people attached, they don't usually do anything. I guess just from seeing previous experience, but to have like somebody that was like in the shit like that and to do all that with you like that's awesome, man. Yeah,
and I mean they were squared away, but they like to have fun. Like they liked how I crack jokes and shit like that. So yeah, I started cooking. At first it was.
We're back. Sorry about that. Call dropped, so hopefully we don't have any more tech issues. So, yeah, you were just saying, you usually like mess around and stuff like that is, I think, was where I lost you.
Yeah. No, the Czech soldiers, they were squared away, and that was one of the best parts of AT was hanging out with those guys and seeing how they trained. A lot of them were commanders. They were officers. So, to be a chemical corps, like officer over there, some of them went to, like, school for 5 years to do it. So, not all of them were great. Not all of them were great, like, tactically.
Right.
Like we actually at the rifle range, I think only a few of them qualled on the M16. But as far as other stuff, those guys are sharp. And then they were mentally focused. They were older than some of the 19, 20-year-old kids we had, you know. But that was awesome. Yeah. So FTX was fun. I think we only spent 2 days in the field. We did day ops, night ops. We got to use NODs and night vision goggles and shooting shit. I lit some people up. I got lit up. That was fun. And then we got to go trap shooting, which wasn't part of the training. I was with a small group of 10 people. We just ended up trap shooting, and I'd done that for the first time. That was good. And we spent a couple days at this facility where they do chemical training. So they have like buildings set up, like buildings that look like a mechanic shop, but inside there's like a meth lab, or they're building like ricin or whatever. And then so we would do like sampling of that stuff, or surveying, and like a recon team would go in, see what they have, whatever. So we did a bunch of training like that, and I mean the whole 2 weeks was pretty busy. A lot of Army shit. Like I said, we did best warrior competition stuff. We did shooting, obstacle courses and shit, and then we did stuff for the job like chemical, biological. We did training with radiological meters, where we did scenarios with that and tunnels and shit. So it was a pretty good annual training. Pretty busy. At night you're tired. You don't sleep well. We had nights where we came back from training, went to bed at like 1 a.m, woke up at 4 a.m. for the next day. So it took me I hung in there the whole time, you know. I had to represent. But once I had to keep a G. once I got home, I was tired for a few days, but I didn't get that much rest just because life it is what it is, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So,
no, absolutely, man. I hear you.
We got to spend 3 hours in Columbia, Missouri, which is where the Missouri Tigers, the University of Missouri is. So, like, I know, right? The last night in town, we stayed at the National Guard Armory in Missouri, which is inside Columbia. So and they only let us go out for 3 hours and then back to the Armory, and then we drove home the next day. But all in all, AT was AT. It sucked. I think I did above average, and then I'm home, and now I'm thankful for my life and air conditioning and nice toilets and a nice bed with privacy when I want it. And
yeah,
I
definitely. That's always good to like have that shit. Like you said, just to get knocked back down and
absolutely,
see what you have. It's always nice.
When you get in the suck or any variation of the suck, it's good for you. It helps you appreciate what you have, and it also tests you. Like, oh, you could do it. Like I did. I don't like to talk shit. I think I did very well, even on obstacle courses and shit like that. When there's a bunch of young guys on there, I mean, I think I dominated. So I'm proud of myself.
Good, man. That's
I did
great.
I did well. Now I'm home. Got the summer. My daughter's in town. I'm leaving for a trip to South Dakota on Friday. So yeah, life's good, man. Life's good. So.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
I feel like I've been talking for 30 minutes. So I want to hear all about. I want to hear about 4th of July, dog.
About it. Yeah, we can jump into it. Yeah, we hadn't purposely talked about AT or pretty much anything since you got back because I wanted to hear about it on the podcast.
And for you, I mean, you were in the Army. We were in the Army together. We spent tons of ATs, year after year together.
Right.
In similar situations, and so I couldn't wait to tell you about it. And I'm sure I left a few things out, but yeah, no. All in all, it was. It wasn't great, like it's some part of it sucked. Real quick, dude. I have to tell you this part. So, and then I'm done talking about the Army, man. I don't never like talking about the Army. So, like I said, we went to the chow hall or the DFAC dining facility almost every night for chow, and it's still not great. I mean, it's whatever. But so we would go in there and we would share that with the same area that they do basic training. So for most of the days, they had the basic training troops there, or people in AIT, like the MP guys would have their pistol belts and all that stuff on, or chem guys. Right. They've been in for a few weeks, but they would come in the chow hall, they would yell, so-and-so, Private so-and-so from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, whatever, and then they would get in line, they wouldn't talk, they would sidestep, they would hold their trays up at their neck. They would about face. They would go to the salad bar. They would sidestep. They were real quiet, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're all bald and kids. So it was fun looking at them and watching them. So one day we get done eating chow, and we're just hanging out in the chow hall now. We're taking in the air conditioning. We're drinking water. We're drinking Gatorade. We're, sitting in normal chairs. Like, we're just enjoying that for a bit. One of the cooks comes up, and he's like, hey, get ready for the show.
I love that they warned you.
Me and the guys are like, what the fuck does that mean? So we look outside and there's a unit, like, and also being at an Army base, I think any soldier that goes to an Army base, I don't care if you've probably been on 30 years, when you go to an Army base and you see troops marching with their guidons and they're singing cadence and they're yelling, it's awesome, man. There's something about it. It's incredible. They're yelling. They're all in step. They're all in cadence. So you stop. You watch. Especially if they're walking by you, you definitely stop. But even at a distance, just hearing them yell in cadence and step. So we see this unit outside the window. They're all wearing road guard vests, like orange vests over their combat uniforms. We're like, oh, these guys must be pretty new, And then there's a bunch of drill sergeants, and they're yelling at them. They're just standing there. These guys are getting yelled at. So then one of the other cooks says, yeah, this is their first day here.
Oh, man.
Shit.
These poor bastards.
Poor bastards, right. So instead of having just like your 2 drill sergeants that are with you the whole time, they had about 12 drill sergeants with them, and they were swarming.
Best.
So they entered the chow hall, and it was fucking on, dude. They're fucking screaming. They're yelling. I don't even know how to explain it, man, if you've never seen it. For us, it was cool because I don't think any of us have ever been in that situation
other than being in that situation.
Right,
like
I've never seen it. I've just been on the one side of it, for sure. So I bet that was awesome to see.
Yeah, same here. You're that private going through, scared as fucking, screamed at. So there's 12 drill sergeants. They're screaming. People are going through the lines. They're getting yelled at. Every now and then they'd be like, stop, no. They'd like single somebody else, stop, no, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And you can't, and if you're a soldier, you can't say it. You look forward, yes, just drill sergeant, no drill sergeant, whatever. And then,
for part of it, you don't know what to do. Like
you have no idea what to do.
It's literally day one for you. So, like, do I respond? If I do, I'm going to say it wrong. And no matter, we said this a million times in your basic training, no matter what you do, it's wrong, whether you do something or you don't. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it could be anything. You could have grabbed a spoon instead of a fork.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, it could be anything. So, they're screaming at him. So every now and then they grab, like, one soldier, and they'd have a drill sergeant behind him, a drill sergeant on each side of them. They're all yelling at him. They're all saying something different. You can't make out what they're saying. The guy there is just shaking, scared or whatever. And and we're just sitting there, like, across the chow hall. Like, I keep putting my water to my mouth so nobody can see me, like, laughing or smiling.
Right.
It's so funny. They started pulling people out of line. So, you know, when they pull somebody out of line and they make them repeat something over and over again.
Yes.
Like, bowl, 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 bowl is for food. Somebody was saying something like, bowl, 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 bowl is for food. And then they'd pull somebody else out of line next to them, and they would start repeating stuff. So they had like 3 people repeating different things, just watching everybody else go through the chow hall line, and they were just rolling, sidestep, what the fuck are you, just screaming. And it was fantastic. So, yeah, for us, a lot of times, so that we saw that like 2 days in a row, and they were not there the same time the next day, and then like the 4th day, they were there again. This was probably like during the 2nd week we were there. That was like the highlight of the day, And one of those days, I think I went to the machine gun range, and that's how cool it was. Like just seeing these kids just getting fucking murdered. Like one of the days we were going back to our base camp, and right after chow, they went through quick. They got screamed at. They ate without looking or talking, whatever. And then as soon as we saw them march back to their basic training area in cadence, and then they started running like sprints and shit. So I'm just like, Jesus Christ, they're trying to get these guys to puke right after dinner,
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. But that's the last thing I want to talk about the Army. Like I said, it sucked. It was a good test for me. I'm getting older. At 38, I feel like I'm an old man in the Army.
Oh yeah, I bet. People, you're probably one of the oldest ones in your unit, weren't you?
Yeah, there was some older guys. We got a guy in his 50s or whatever, but. I held it down. I thought I represented. I feel like when I do that, I have to represent the Army Reserves, which
245, son.
Represent the 245. I don't know if I sent you that pic. I was wearing the 245 shirt underneath my
you were. You did, of course.
combat uniform. And then, and then everybody knows I'm a fireman, and they ask questions, so I got to represent that too. So I got to do my best. And I think even if it wasn't for any of that, I always try to do my best. Just try to kill that shit. So. Yeah, man. I'm just glad I'm home, and I had fun. I made the best of it.
Dude, that sounds like awesome. I remember you texted me saying it sucked, and I told you it was like, I wish I could be there with this way. You weren't in the suck alone, but it sounds like you did have good moments, which every AT is the exact same way. Absolutely. It sucks, but you have great moments as well. So
yeah, and I met some super cool people. There's some kind of douche people, and there's super cool people, but it makes you like at work. You can have a shit day at work, but then at the end you're going home. You're going to relax, regroup, come back tomorrow when you're in that environment. Like you're in that environment until 2 weeks later you go home and you get to
you can't go to the fridge and grab a beer or a drink or whatever.
Yeah. So. You're just there, and I've been doing it for about 18 years, man. I'm used to it, and I don't love it, but parts of it I do love, and I'm sure when I'm eventually done forever, I'll definitely miss parts of it. It's not the same. It's not the same now, because when I used to go to AT, I used to be with you guys, and I knew a lot of you guys for 10 years or whatever,
or longer, yeah,
or longer. So with these guys, they're all new to me, so I'm getting, like meeting people and doing stuff, but it definitely wasn't as cool as my other. And some of these guys are like, "This is the best AT you've ever had." And I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
That's awesome. Yeah, you should listen to our podcast and hear a real AT.
Oh, my God, for sure. For sure, man.
That's awesome.
But we didn't, in our ATs, we didn't get to do a lot of Army. Like, we never went to the gas chamber.
Yeah,
we never got to the machine gun range. We didn't, we've done obstacle courses. We did obstacle courses in McCoy.
Yeah.
And Fort Riley. I don't know if you went to Fort Riley with us.
No.
Okay. But yeah, we've done them. But yeah, a lot of, this was straight up, it was almost like a basic training AT, which was fun for me because it's been so long. But for some of these people, they're like, I don't want this shit. I'm like, fucking suck it up. You're 21 years old. You're going to be fucking fine.
Right.
Like, bitch, yeah, there's snakes and mosquitoes out here. You're going to be fine. You're in the Army.
And rogue banjos.
Yeah, and the Blair Witch, whatever. She's going to kill one of us. It's going to be you. It's probably not going to be me. I'm a hard target.
Yep. Higher ranking, so deal with it.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. But yeah, 4th of July, it's great as always. I've said it a million times. It's my favorite holiday. It goes 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Super Bowl are my top 3 holidays. So, I absolutely love it. I don't know. I think it's just like I've always obviously been like a big patriot. I've always loved America and all that stuff. But it's just more getting together with family. I've said it many times. I love the summertime. So it's obviously always in July for those people listening overseas because we have a ton of them.
We have two.
But yeah, so Independence Day is always fun, barbecuing and just blowing stuff up, and it's great. So this year, like every year, we go out to my grandpa's pond and we get a bunch of fireworks and we shoot them off. And I'm always a big proponent of like being super safe. Like I always every year I wear I wear earplugs. I wear safety glasses because yeah, dude, no joke. Because 4 or 5 years ago, we're always lighting off fireworks. I'm always part of the group that lights off fireworks, and so you got to say you're standing underneath the fireworks and you're looking up, and I had a big chunk of something fall into my eye, and it was stuck in there for a couple hours because it was right at the beginning, and I couldn't get it out, and we didn't stop the show, obviously. And so I didn't get it out till we went back, and it could have been bad. It wasn't.
Absolutely,
it
could have been real bad.
Since then, I wear sunglasses during the day, and then at night I put on safety goggles because I was like, I'm not gonna ruin, my eyesight. And sometimes we have stuff that goes wrong. Like we had a 1 year an artillery shell that just as soon as it got out of the tube, it blew up. Don't know why. It just not everything's gonna be perfectly quality controlled. So
it's all coming from China.
Yeah, exactly. So stuff like that. It's like I'm gonna protect my eyes for sure. So yeah, and I know a lot of people they'll make fun of me and stuff, but most my cousin Carl, he's always lighting stuff off, and he's a 13-year Army veteran, and he always wears safety glasses too. So yeah, and I know you're about safety when we always do stuff as well. So yeah, don't take that lightly at all, man. So
no, for sure.
But yeah, it was great. This year we did something. Usually we get a bunch, either have people just donate a bunch of fireworks or whatever, and then we just get everything together, and then we try to it's not just light a couple here and we're good. We look at everything, we lay everything that we have out, we set it up, we get a finale together, which try to chain everything together and stuff like that. But this year we decided to, whoever wanted to be a part of it, just to donate money. And then the reason why is we pooled up all that money so then when we go and get the fireworks, it's one big purchase, and then you get a bigger return. So, we spent and we had a bunch of people donate stuff. We spent $1,100. And so that got us in the 25% range. So we got $277 back worth of just free stuff.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, the part of the finale, there's this big firework. It's called the end game, and that thing just in itself lasted for 2.5 minutes.
Holy
and it has every type of firework effect that you can think of, and that was $250. So pretty much that just paid for the very last firework. So that's why we decided to do it, and it's always a group of us. So it's the 4 people that mainly who try to go get the fireworks together if we can and put it on is myself, Thomas, who's been on the podcast, my uncle Frank. So shout out to him. He's an avid listener of the podcast. And then my cousin Carl, and he's He's an avid listener too. He actually was telling me, he's like, yeah, he's like, I didn't realize you guys have been pumping out podcasts. He's like, I thought I was all caught up. He's like, I'm on episode 22, and he's like, I go back in and just like 100 more pop up. I'm like, yeah, we do work, man.
Well,
you know, we try.
He's the veteran, right?
Yeah.
And I follow him on Twitter. Yeah, what's up? Shout out, Carl.
Yeah, he'll probably get to this in about a year or so. No, but that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's my grandpa's pond, it's my uncle's pond, so they have it. For the most part, it's pretty much my uncle's pond. So that's awesome, and it was kind of cool because he got married. My uncle got married earlier this year, and it's kind of like they originally were supposed to get married this weekend, but because of a lot of just different stuff, they decided to get married earlier. So it was kind of their like reception and stuff. So they had a bunch of like her family out. So it was just awesome, man. You know, it's always being with family and lighting stuff off. So yeah, we had, I mean, everything together. The extra $200, you're talking about anywhere from $1,300 to $1,400 worth of fireworks, and that doesn't count the other stuff that people brought for like, you know, like the little kids and stuff like that. And you know, I mean, actually, we ended up having more than that because somebody ended up bringing. Now that I think about it, she brought Lisa, my mom's friend. She bought like an extra $500 worth of like artillery shells and stuff. So we probably had close to 2,000, and that's pretty much what it's been for like the past couple of years out there. I mean, my grandpa owns, I don't know how many acreage this pond is, but I mean, it's big. I mean, there's like probably 30 cars out there and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's pretty sweet, man, to do that. And like I said, had food. My uncle smoked 4 pork asses. You know, we just had people bring in just a bunch of just different food, and it was always a blast. Last year, like, it rained most during the day, and then there was like a 2-hour window that we got everything lit off, and then it started raining again. This year it was just stupid hot, which I like, you know, but it had rained the day before, which always makes me feel better because then that wets everything around, you know, less worry about fire and stuff. But yeah, man, it was great. So we just had, I know usually Rob and Ashley and his family, they come down, and they came down, which was awesome. And Rob usually helps us light stuff off too. So we never have shortage amount of people. And you need that many people too. Like, we have, you know, that many like artillery shells. Like, we had a mistake where like they could easily fall over. So we have this table that, I mean, we just screw down like, I don't even remember how many tubes we had screwed down at a time, probably like 16 or something. And then the best way to light everything is just with like a propane tank, not a propane tank.
Like a torch.
Yeah, like a torch. Yeah, like a propane torch. And so then, yeah, you can knock like most of them out and, you know, shoot them up. And so, yeah, man, there's a lot of thought that goes into it. We try to get better every year. Like Thomas, man, it's his favorite holiday too, as much as mine. So like, I know Carl, he's been looking into getting his like fireworks license, because if you do that, you can go up to places and you can buy fireworks for wholesale. And I don't know if you know a lot about fireworks, but the markup on them is insane. Like, that's why they can give away so much free stuff when you buy so much stuff, because it really is crazy how much they mark them up. But you can buy them at wholesale, so you can get a lot more, and then you can get the bigger ones if you have the license. And so I know he gave Thomas the info, and I think Thomas is going to look into it. And so, yeah, we want to try to just, you know, build it up every year. And, you know, it's just a lot of fun. We have a place to do it. It's like literally right by my hometown, and my grandparents is where my uncle, you know, lives. So, but yeah, that's what we do every year. And it's just awesome. The first year, because, you know, Mikey moved out to Colorado, so he wasn't there. So that kind of sucked. But, you know, I mean, right. It had happened, you know. Life goes on, but no, man. I mean, it was absolutely great. And then, so we did that on Saturday, which would have been the 1st, and then yesterday, which was 4th of July. I had to work today, and so did JPEG. So we just had Grayson and then Fred, and we just went and bought like $60 worth of stuff at the local firework place, and then we just lit off stuff in our driveway around 7. It was awesome. And you know, Grayson was even out there, and I have these earphones, like headphone type things that I wear when I go shooting, and so we just let him wear that since he's only, you know, 5 months old at this point. Protect his hearing, and it didn't bother him wearing it. So I think at my uncle's pond on the 1st, he pretty much slept through all of it. Cause, I mean, obviously we didn't start lighting off fireworks till like
Yeah,
9
dark.
and then took
Yeah.
a little bit of a break. Yeah. But yeah, he loved it. And
That's
I
awesome.
posted some pictures with the sparklers, but I like want him to get into it as much as I do. So when time comes and he's old enough to help out, and he can help out. And
Oh, yeah.
man, we let my grandpa, he lit the finale, which was absolutely awesome. He comes out and he loves doing that stuff. But I was like, hey, Grandpa, you want to light the finale? Because we always like try to, like, once we go, we don't stop until we get to the finale, and then we always wait like a couple minutes. We're like, all right, this is the finale, everybody get ready. And we always have everything like fused up and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
let him light it, and my younger brother always gets him a bottle of Boone's Farm every year. So he loves that stuff. And my grandpa always says, he's like, wine? He's like, never trust anything with a cork. The good stuff comes with a screw cap. Which is always awesome. So he's out there, and he has a half bottle of Boone's Farm already down. It's in his pocket, and he's out there with a torch and, hits it up. It's just awesome to see that he still comes out and, does all that stuff. But man, I get excited. It's like a roller coaster for me, because it's like I get so excited when we go to buy the fireworks. You're like, oh, did we, like, when you bought everything, like, what do we get while we're there? And then you're like, did we get enough? Is it going to be as good as the show as it was last year or 2 years ago? And then you get there and you start seeing everybody showing up, and like, oh, they're going to be all disappointed. Like, that's how much thought goes into it for us. So, I know it does for me, and I know Thomas gets that way too, because we just start talking, and I kind of pulled the trigger a little bit earlier and started lighting off some stuff probably a little bit too early, but I was just like, I couldn't stop pacing. Like, it was just like, I felt like I was getting ready to play like a football game or basketball game back in high school. Like, I just want to go, like, let's just do it,
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's just obviously everything always works out. Nobody got hurt or anything. It's probably because my uncle decided not to light stuff off with us this year, and he's the only one. Him and Rob always seem to be the ones that get hurt somehow, and they didn't help light stuff out this year. So nobody got hurt, like twisting an ankle or had like a shell blow up right in front of them or anything. Yeah. So, but no, man, it's I absolutely love it. Obviously, the freedom of the USA is awesome. So, yeah, it's just fantastic. How was your 4th?
Dude, my 4th was good, man. And I just want to say, like, I know you always go hard on 4th. I love it. And I know you know this, but for people who are listening, one of the pictures that I had blown up and have framed and it's hanging up in my basement is you on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
With your American flag T-shirt, with fireworks draped over your shoulders. I have that blown up, framed, and downstairs. I know you guys go hard, and I love hearing about it, so I couldn't wait to talk to you about it.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. That end firework, that end game, that's the best one that I've seen. And the fact that it lasted that long was great.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes, dude. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy for sure. But hopefully, like I said, Carl or Thomas can get. Like, I probably try to take the test once I find out what's all in there. 'Cause it'd be cool if we could all, get the license and then just looking to get like an enclosed trailer and go wherever we need to go to get it done. So.
Where do they buy fireworks?
Like where you would go to the wholesale?
Like to buy wholesale, yeah.
Somebody said that somewhere up in Minnesota somewhere is where some people go, I think is what my cousin was saying. And I think Thomas, or maybe that was Thomas that might have mentioned it, but I'm sure you could probably go down to Texas. I don't know if they do pretty big. I had another cousin that he's Air Force, and he's stationed in Wyoming or Montana, I think. And I can't remember which one, but wherever he's from, they sell fireworks like year round, so I'm sure they have something out there as well.
Well, that's like Missouri. Missouri does that, yeah.
Yeah, Missouri, yeah, they're pretty cool down here, man. I mean, you do a lot of like good stuff, and I mean that's where we always obviously come because Nebraska doesn't have crap. So
no.
But yeah, man, it is a blast, pun intended, and it's just fun. I don't know. It's just, I guess, the meaning of everything, and so yeah, it's always been my favorite. So
yeah, no, dude, I love the 4th of July too. I had a good 4th. I actually was on shift for the 4th of July, so I was working. So we went hard on the 1st, that Saturday, the same day as you.
Yeah.
So I cooked some feather bones, and I cooked a few pounds of wings,
Oh.
And then we made, Camus made collard greens. And then we did some beans with, just baked beans with bacon, jalapeno, onions, and all that shit in there. And then some desserts and other stuff. So we went hard eating, feasting like usual. And then we had bought some stuff. Last time I was in KC to visit you, we stopped at Rockport, Missouri.
Yeah.
We bought a bunch of allegedly bought a bunch of rockets and other shit there.
Right.
And then the rest of the stuff we bought locally. And then I got a buddy that has he makes those quarter sticks or whatever that I love to use, and I have to get them now because the kids are like, you have to get more of those fucking dynamite,
right.
dynamite
they look
shit.
forward to it. I remember you saying that last year.
That's like the favorite shit. So I'm like, I got to get more of that. So I had a bunch of those. So we just hung out at home on that Saturday. We ate well, waited till it got dark, and then we just let off a ton of fireworks. Rockets are probably my favorite. We had some legit rockets. Some of them were they seemed dangerous because they were rockets, whether they're fireworks or not, they're incredible. So some of the ones we got, they went so fucking high in the air. The only problem, and then they blew up when they got pretty high. The only problem was a big part of it comes back down to the ground, and it comes down hard as fuck, it sticks into the ground. So
right.
we have to fire those rockets before it gets dark, or else we're all gonna be ducking for cover. So we did that.
Right. Yeah.
And then we had these little rockets with this big fucking rocket head on it, and then it had a half-inch stick of wood that was probably 2.5 feet long.
Oh yeah.
We had to fire that out of a pipe, so we just we leaned that up against the lawn chairs, shot it out of a pipe, and I was worried about that because we shot that at an angle instead of straight up, and I'm like, where the fuck? There's a big ass piece of wood on it and the head of that rocket, hopefully that doesn't land on somebody or go through somebody's window, but allegedly we did that. I'm not going to say we did that. I just say allegedly.
Yeah, living in a town kind of sucks, man, but when you want to do that, like I said, at least the small town, my small hometown is 150 people right now, and it's we're at my grandpa's pond where it's not going to hit any house. No matter. You have to have a legitimate NASA rocket to hit something.
Oh, so. Shit. I might have killed somebody. We might have killed somebody. We just don't know.
Yeah, but no, man, our town, where we live now, they don't mess around. It rains for the most part here. Off and on all day, but so we went out at 7 or 7:30 to light our fireworks, and I went back out to help clean up our driveway while Jen was getting Grayson a bath and stuff like that, and we. It started raining then, and then it didn't let up at all, but that did not stop our neighborhood, man. The neighborhood that we live in, I was like, I wonder if it's still raining, because it's just 8:30, 9 o'clock hits, and it's just going off, and they could light off until midnight, and I think I heard the last firework. I was laying in bed. It was at 11:30, 11:45, some fireworks were still going off. But, it was solid from 9 all the way up until 11. And I had gone outside a couple times, and it's still just coming down nice and steady. But our backyard, it looked like a war, man. It was looked like a big fog came in.
Oh,
and
for
people,
sure.
Yeah, people are still blowing stuff off. So that's why I love, cause I know when we moved into this house, it was right before, we were only in this house for a month or something like that for the 4th of July, before that. And so, it got, I just remember talking to our neighbors because this neighborhood gets crazy like this. Everybody loves it.
Awesome.
So it's awesome just to hear it. And Fred does really good with fireworks.
Oh, good. I was going to ask about that. Coco does too. He doesn't, I know there's a lot of pets out there and that does suck, but he does really well. He is never scared. And then, they're so loud, we have obviously a baby monitor in G's room, and the baby monitor, you would see it max out, with the noise. It would pick up the fireworks outside, but he slept through everything too, so he never woke up either. So yeah, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Mhm.
I love it too. Same thing around here, same thing in Omaha. Everybody's just lighting off for the last few days. It's just going off.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to the quarter sticks, those things are so fucking awesome. As long as you don't have any projectiles or anything, you're fine. Close to them. But they go off, and it's just this huge explosion, and then a flash. It's like a flashbang going off. Everybody loves them. Every now and then I would throw one when people weren't expecting it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it would scare the shit out of people. But it's super loud, and nobody complained. The police didn't come. And then one of the last ones we did, we had one of those round watermelons.
Yeah.
We cut a wedge out, put the stick in with the fuse exposed, and then put the wedge back in the watermelon. We put it in the middle of the street, lit it. It detonated. The watermelon evaporated. It disintegrated, dude. There was nothing left. There was
that
nothing.
The one Melina was that, or was that a different one? The one that he
No, I heard Candace told me, she's like, hey, Melina copycatted us, and he blew up a watermelon. And I was like, no shit, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, because I
it was different.
After you said that, I wasn't for sure, because the wind, it was actually kind of cool. Did you see, I don't know if you, like on his Instagram story, like when he did it, because he like just moved and then a piece of the watermelon like hit his phone or something like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I thought that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, if you do it with the watermelon, you're safe, as long as, I guess, at work, the shit before us, somebody had put something in a bucket like that, and it blew up, and dude had, somebody called 911, and they had just pieces of plastic just embedded all over their skin. If you have any kind of projectile around it, whether it's water in it or whatever, it's going to turn into a grenade. Like it shoots
absolutely.
out whatever is around it in every direction, whether it's hard plastic or metal or whatever. If you're using anything that's like dynamite or plastic explosive, whatever. But so when we do it, it's allegedly when we do it, but we're safe with it. But yeah, that's, people lose hands, people lose fingers, people get hit with projectiles, if they're shrapnel, if you will, if they're not safe. But yeah, we try to be safe with that. And
yeah, man, it's all about safety for sure. Like I don't want to end up like Jason Pierre-Paul and like have a stub. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's why, like people who like I'll never ever participate in like I guess never say never, but like what's the war that they do, like Roman candle wars or whatever? Like I won't do that. Like that.
I'm gonna say we did do that.
Right. No, and there's nothing wrong with people, and I'll watch people do it because I think it's funny. I choose not to,
No, it's smart, dude. That'd be a stupid. I mean, there's so many different ways you could get fucked up. Doing it on the 4th of July is not one that, there's. If you're doing it to help somebody or whatever, you can get fucked up if you're taking a risk, like a necessary risk, but just doing it for fun. Like, how'd you lose your hand? Were you in combat? No, 4th of July. Shit went real bad.
Right. No, definitely.
That's not how you want to live life,
Yeah, and I know I've done a lot of stupid stuff. It's just, the older I get, and it's just, it's all about that safety. I sound like I'm 50.
Yeah,
not sure there's anything wrong with that.
Well, man, you're a dad now. You got more shit to worry about,
Yeah, no,
so,
absolutely.
I understand. You got to be safe, man. Have fun, but be safe, Don't
For
take
sure.
it too far.
Yeah, man, but it's been a great holiday, man. So
for sure.
I'm glad your AT went well, and I know it's the second part. We've probably been going for over an hour now, so
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll wind it down, dude. We'll do this again in about a week.
Yeah.
The other night we went to the ballpark and we watched their fireworks finale. It was awesome.
Awesome,
it was 22 minutes long. They went pretty hard, and then yesterday I was at work. We were pretty busy, but I mean we're usually pretty busy. But we didn't have much fireworks or 4th of July related stuff. I guess we had some drunk people, but we always do. But nothing too crazy for work. And we got to hang out outside the firehouse and look around in every direction in the city. I mean, there's people just letting off for hours and hours, and so that it's just fun to enjoy it. I like with any holiday. Like I love holidays, and it's the same thing as the podcast to me. Like it's just a reason or an excuse to get people together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like you could ask me about any holiday, and I will tell you I don't know what it's about. Like if it's Christmas, I'm not religious. I don't know what it's about. Easter, like I could tell you. Like I think Jesus was, or God, or somebody was born on Christmas. I think somebody died on Easter. The 4th of July has something to do with the British. I don't really give a shit. It's an excuse. You know what I mean? I really don't. It's an excuse to get together with family, with friends, and enjoy it. And same thing with Thanksgiving. It has something to do with fucking pilgrims or some shit. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna enjoy it. The same with the podcast. Is there a reason for it?
No.
We're bringing people together. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
That's what all this is about. Is just bringing people together and enjoying life and
getting faded.
I love it. Getting faded.
Yeah, man. That's why I couldn't have said it better myself, for sure.
Yeah. But we'll do this again in like a week. I told you I got to work tomorrow for 24, and then I'm heading to South Dakota for a few days. I've never been there. That's one of the states. Like I travel a lot. I've never been to South Dakota, so I'm super pumped about it. Yeah,
dude,
I'm taking the kids.
That's gonna be awesome, man. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to that. When I come back from that, dude, we'll do another prison call, and yeah, it is. That's what's up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I can't wait. Yeah, like I said, we know you got a busy summer. I have a busy summer. We'll get back into BDC Studios, and we got some fire lined up for you, like for real. Like I think the outline's probably already set. It's in my head already. So
okay, awesome, awesome, dude, awesome.
All right, man. Any last things before we bounce here?
No, I just want to say to Grayson and JPEGs, I love them.
Oh yeah, I will, man.
Tell Mikey, tell all the fam. Shout out Mama Pagnasty. Tell everybody I said what's up. That's it, man.
I will, man. Same goes for Camus, the boys, and your daughter. She's with you for a little bit, which is awesome. So
yeah.
Hi guys, hey, just send in some questions. I don't know, again, it's next time when we're going to get into BDC Studios, but we definitely need, I think there's only one sitting out there now. I don't know if that person sent multiple questions in there, so there could only be one question. So we love to do it. We haven't done it in a very long time. So definitely send them in. That's at nastyandfriends@gmail.com, and then Twitter, Instagram, of course, as always, and Facebook is at Nasty and Friends. So guys, remember, life's simple. Don't be a dick. Night flips.
The story without a name. Now, of course, Corby's heart was broken when he heard about Ogden's arm. He was heartbroken for two reasons. The first was obviously the fact that he lost his throwing arm and would never make it to the major leagues. The second is, of course, that Ogden snitched on Bort. That really pissed the lobster off. Corby was beside himself. How could the oldest son forget about the code of conduct the date wrongs have been living by for the past 5 generations? Corby instilled the age-old tradition of snitches get stitches in his son since he was old enough to talk. The problem is, Corby was never around when Bort was little. Corby pretty much abandoned Ogden as soon as Ogden's mother had baby number 2. Corby found out that baby number 2 was a girl and packed his bags. Corby had visitation of his kids for 2 weeks every summer. That was the only time Corby got to see his kids. That was obviously not enough time for the age-old traditions to take hold on such young, open minds. Now, when Corby got to the hospital to visit his ailing son, he decided to teach Ogden a lesson. He wanted to make sure that Ogden never again snitched.
Motherfucker, yeah!
Original bad boy.